Time to raid that fridge. These are the best leftovers you're ever gonna find.
But
it's perhaps one of the best.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 foods that are still great cold. For this list, we take a bite out of foods that are usually eaten hot or warm, but for one reason or another, still taste just as good cold or cooled down. Number 10. Pasta.
How about some leftover veal and some cold pasta?
Whether it be last night's carbonara or the spaghetti bolognese from 2 days ago, the flavors in pasta dishes continue to develop to the point where Old Italian is almost as good as what comes fresh out of the oven.
Any cold pasta?
There was some ziti, but it all got eaten.
The whole tray? From last Sunday?
It's so good cold, in fact, that pasta salad has become almost as popular as its heated counterparts.
I got us an assortment of different things this time. Some cold pastas, salads.
Special mention also goes to mac and cheese, which, while not exactly a classic pasta dish, often has a hefty helping of cheese that is still damn good after a night of cooling off. And who can forget lasagna? Filled with meat, cheese, various veggies, and sometimes even red wine. There's plenty packed in there that only seems to get better given a little time. Wine gets better with age, so it only makes sense that lasagna would also improve, right?
You like your lasagna?
Number 9. Fried chicken.
I love me some fried chicken.
You may lose that straight out of the fryer oily crispiness, but instead you get a totally different texture. The batter has fully soaked up all of that chicken flavor, and now the meat isn't quite so ready to slip straight off the bone in a bit of a greasy mess. Some people even buy fried chicken just to let it go cold, often employing it as a fantastic picnic snack or a lazy meal when you just can't be bothered to cook.
That aroma of old sweat like fried chicken.
Number 8. Sausage roll. The first, but certainly not the last of a pastry-like snack to make our list. This savory roll combines puff pastry and sausage meat and is topped off with a glaze made of egg or milk.
Sausage rolls, thank you. I love these.
Those are my favorites.
They're then baked and can be served as a hot snack, while the miniature versions have found a home at buffets and parties. However, sausage rolls are equally delicious after they've left the oven for hours, and even after being stored in the fridge for a while too. What can we say? There's just something about ground meat and a light, flaky, and layered dough that fills us with satisfaction no matter what temperature it's being devoured at.
Are they hot sausage rolls? If you want, I'll give you the accurate heat of how they were. This hot.
Number 7. Bacon.
Smell like bacon in this mother.
It's easy to make a bit too much bacon for a big breakfast.
I ate too much bacon.
But that's fine. Throw it in the fridge and come back tomorrow. Once it's cold, it feels vastly different in the mouth, and those salty flavors gradually become a little mellower without that out-of-the-pan grease.
I need a BLT on rye, Richie.
Ideal in a salad or with lettuce and tomato in the classic BLT sandwich. It's a bit more chewy cooled down, but still just as good.
And could you sprinkle some bacon bits on top?
Number 6. Samosa.
I grabbed you some samosas.
Right.
Often sold at supermarkets to be eaten cold. After being chilled, this pastry becomes softer, while the potatoes, meat, onions, and peas that hide within will have absorbed all the spices that make Indian food so good. A great snack that you maybe wouldn't have too often when sampled at a cold temperature. It allows you to appreciate everything that's in the samosa, rather than be overwhelmed with heat.
Yes, Masuchi, Mom's making the samosas.
May God keep you and your husband in endless happiness.
Number 5. Meatloaf.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now!
Will Ferrell certainly doesn't mean the slightly overweight recording artist either.
I would do anything for love.
The ground meat dish is one of the most versatile foods ever created, as it can really be used for anything, even when it's gone cold.
Today's cafeteria specials are leftover meatloaf and bacon.
Chuck it in a sandwich, put a slice in the kids' lunchboxes, or even just have it as your cold meats with a salad or baked potato.
Ma, the meatloaf!
Originating in Europe, the American counterpart is now a staple of the diet of many living in the US, and is quite the legendary dish.
Meatloaf, so moist and savory, it's beef that's shaped like bread. Don't know what that aroma's doing in my head.
Number 4. Pop-Tarts.
In the cupboard there are strawberry Pop-Tarts Jinx!
With its popularity increasing ever since the product's launch in the 1960s, the state in which the pastry-based snack should be eaten has divided the opinion of people all over the US of A.
I was about 8, they invented the Pop-Tart, the back of my head blew right off.
Although they're designed to be toasted or microwaved. Kellogg's Pop-Tarts are incredibly easy to pick up and have as a quick breakfast, before work, or as a lazy snack.
Also, how could you eat an entire box of Pop-Tarts and still be this hungry?
They are actually quite flammable, as a few high-profile toaster fire incidents in the 90s proved. So perhaps it is best to eat them cold.
You got enough for breakfast?
5 boxes of Pop-Tarts.
Honey, we don't have a toaster.
Steve, get out of here.
Number 3. Spring roll.
Ooh, anybody want any spring rolls?
Similar to other pastry-like snacks like Jamaican patties and the samosa, the Asian spring roll keeps all of the goodness locked up inside, which means that you can keep them stored in Tupperware for a few days and they'll still be just as good.
Oh, I got you an eggy thingy. I took a bite out of it, and it's kind of cold, but it's still good.
These rolled appetizers can be filled with a combination of anything from pork to shrimp to chicken and all sorts of vegetables that work perfectly with trademark Chinese sauces to really develop overnight.
I was just gonna get us some egg rolls for lunch.
Number 2. Curry.
Tin of beef curry. Yummy.
The sauciest dishes tend to fare the best when left in the fridge overnight, and any sort of curry certainly flourishes given a night's stay in the refrigerator. Made even easier to just pick up and eat, by often already being in a convenient container. Every spice and ingredient of a curry dish works together to give you a morning, afternoon, or late night treat.
Man, this is some good curry.
If you have a bit of naan bread left over after having an Indian feast, throw that in so it soaks up the sauce as well, adding even more longevity to your meal.
Coconut curry tamponade, your favorite.
Before we dig into our top pick, let's have a taste of some honorable mentions.
The important thing is to cut right the way through that nice crisp pastry, and that's what you're looking for.
Go!
And that is a simple, rustic, hearty masterpiece.
Number 1. Pizza.
You prefer cold pizza?
The morning after? It's the best.
Better than hot pizza? That's insane.
You don't tell me what kind of pizza to like.
Was it ever in doubt? One of the most popular takeout meals ever is also one of the most varied and experimented with. But it still seems that any of these variations is just as good the morning after the night before.
Cold pizza for you. It's good for breakfast. See you.
Whether you're hungover, hungry, or just have nothing else in the house, you can always rely on last night's pizza to evolve into something rather different than what you had last night. A regular at buffets and on assorted platters, it really is the go-to food when your oven is just too far away.
I'm not doing anything, really. I just thought I'd go home and have some cold pizza.
Do you agree with our list? What foods do you buy hot but then put them straight in the fridge? There are so many tastes and preferences out there that we couldn't possibly include them all. For more delectable top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.